Okay, you learned about interval notation yesterday. Now you can solve these. So inequalities, this is what you're doing for 1.5. You're going to do three things. You're going to solve them. You're going to graph them on a number line. And the third thing you're going to do is state the interval notation. You're going to do three things to every problem. I don't make a number line like this, so let's take that off. So, okay, so here we go. We're going to add 4 to both sides. You get 2x is greater than 12. Divide both sides by 2. X is greater than 6. Okay, I solved it. Second thing I'm going to do is graph it. Show me where 0 is, and show me where 6 is compared to I'm not the teacher that you have to make 6 slashes. Just show me where 6 is. 6 is approximately right here. It's to the right of 0. I don't need you to put a whole bunch of slashes down. I'm going to put an open circle at 6. Everybody knows why it's an open circle. There is no line underneath there. That's why it's an open circle. And I'm shading towards the right because this has to be in the same direction as that. Now that I graphed it, I have to state the interval notation. I'm going to use a parenthesis because it's an open circle, 6 to infinity, parenthesis. Okay, let's do another one. I'm going to do the distributive property, so I'm going to get 15 minus 5t is less than 7 minus t. So on the left-hand side, I did the distributive property. I'm going to bring the t over to this side, which gives me 15 minus 5t plus t is less than 7, which gives me a negative 4t plus 15 is less than 7. I'm going to subtract 15, so I get negative 4t is less than a negative 8 because I subtracted 15. I'm going to divide by a negative 4. So t is greater than. The reason why it's greater than is because I divided by a negative number. A negative 8 divided by a negative 4 is a positive 2. So I solved it. That's my first step. Making a number line is my second step. Here's 0. Here's approximately 2. I'm going to show an open circle here at 2, and I'm going to shade to the right. My interval notation is going to be a parenthesis with the 2 to infinity. Okay, let's do a couple more. It looks like we have 2 more templates left. So a negative 3 times 4y is a negative 12w plus 3 is greater than or equal to 18. I'm going to subtract 3 to both sides. That's why I get 15. And I'm going to divide everything by a negative 12. W is going to be less than or equal to, because I divided it by a negative number. This is going to end up being a negative 1.25 if you plug that into your calculator. Make a number line. Here's 0. Doesn't a negative 1.25 land to the left of 0? I'm going to use a closed circle here at a negative 1.25 because there's a line underneath it. And I need to shade to the left. Interval notation is a negative infinity to a negative 1.25. And since it's a closed circle, I need to put a bracket. The next one, just a little bit different, but you have a 2x on this side is less than a negative 1/2 times a negative 6 is a positive 3, and a negative 1/2 times a negative 4x is a positive 2x. I'm going to bring the 2x over to the other side, and I'm going to get 0 is less than 3. That's what's going to happen. I like this one. This is a special one. What happens when you eliminate your variable? What happens when you only have a number? So what you have to say to yourself is 0 less than 3? Is that true or is that false? Is 0 less than 3? Yes, 0 is less than 3. Your number line ends up being completely shaded in because every number is going to work up here. Every number you can think of. So the whole number line needs to be shaded in. And it's a negative infinity to a positive infinity is what the answer key would look like. Every number would work in there. It looks like we have 2 problems left. Before we do those 2 problems, what happens if it's a false statement? So when you eliminate it, before I do those last 2 problems, a negative 10 is greater than 28. Is a negative, let's say you eliminated all your letters and you get a false statement. Is a negative 10 greater than 28? No, that's false. Your number line would stay empty and it would be a no solution. So keep that in mind. It could be true or it could be false. If it's true, then the whole number line is shaded. If it's false, then it's an empty number line. Okay, let's do these last 2 problems and we're pretty much done. If you get something like this, the first thing you have to do is multiply both sides by a negative 4 because you can't have that fraction. So whatever you do to one side, you can do to the other. And since I multiplied by a negative number, it comes out to be a negative 32y. I got to remember to switch my sign because I multiplied by a negative number, negative 5y plus 9. I'm going to add 5y to join the 32y, and I'll get a negative 27y is less than or equal to 9. I'm going to divide by negative 27. So down over here, I'm going to say that y is greater than or equal to, because I divided it by a negative number. 9/27 is the same thing as a negative 1/3. You can do that on your calculator. Make myself a number line. I know that 0 is here, and I know that a negative 1/3 is to the left of 0. I know I'm going to use a closed circle at a negative 1/3, and I know I'm going to shade to the right because that's the arrow. And my interval notation is a bracket because it's a closed circle to infinity. And I think this is the last problem of the templates. Yep, this is the last one. So I'm going to worry about the 4 later. 5 minus 3x. 5 minus 3x is 2x. There's a negative with a negative. So do you see that there's a negative? So you could like distribute the negative sign, and that's why that was a negative 3x. But a negative of a negative 7 is really a positive 7. So keep that in mind. That'd be 2x plus 7 is less than 2 parentheses 4x minus 5. Now I'm going to do the distributive property on both sides. I'm going to get 8x plus 28 on this side is less than 8x minus 10 on that side. I'm going to subtract 8 x's. I'm going to have 28 is less than a negative 10. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Is 28 less than a negative 10? No. Your number line would look empty, and your answer would be a circle with a line through it. And that's all the notes for 1.7.